Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Walking Through Glass with your host, Dr. Dina C. Brown. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is another amazing morning, and I get to come to you again on Walking Through Glass, the podcast. And just in case you weren't aware, Walking Through Glass, the podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Music Play, Apple Podcasts, and of course our host, Podbean. Today is Wednesday, and it is a wonderful Wednesday, what I like to usually call Wisdom Wednesday. And this day, I want to encourage you, just be who you are. Embrace that just for a moment. Inhale. Exhale the essence of who you authentically are. And I've been really reflective over the course of the last few weeks. And as you know, I'm on this journey, and I'm so grateful that you've joined me as I really begin to work on my consistency, because there's three things that you need to be not only successful but significant in life. That's clarity about who you are, the confidence to walk in your truth, and the consistency to show up every day as your authentic self. So the show up part, the consistency part, that's where I've been working on. So I've been sharing my truth with you along this journey, and I truly, honestly appreciate you for doing that. And I will to take this time to really, really quickly say, please share. It is my goal to reach and touch as many lives as I possibly can, because what's become evidently more clear is that there's many more individuals out there who's walking this journey, and there's parts of it that gets a little confusing, a little perplexed. And sometimes not only do we feel stuck, but we feel like stunted. And that, it's not that we're mired in whatever we're dealing with, but we even feel like our growth is something that is unachievable. So I'm here to tell you today, it is achievable. And I'm going to go back to the key to any and everything, which starts with your clarity. And so I want to quickly share with you an interchange that uniquely blessed my life unexpectedly. I got a text message from one of my line sisters, and she had just said, "Hey, I want you to listen to this song by Molly Music," and it was something about the light. And I thought, okay, I hadn't listened to it yet. Maybe I heard it a while back. And I recall I met him actually last year, and I didn't even know who he was, and I was having a conversation with him in the bowling alley, and I realized just how he was just such an interesting person. And I didn't realize till later who he was. I saw a picture, and I saw the photos from the event, and people were tagging, and I thought, oh wow. So that's my Molly Music connection piece. But really what she said is that, listen to this song. When I heard it, I thought about you. And one of the key things when she said, I thought about you, she said, she did an episode with me. You definitely got to go listen to it. It's about counting your blessings. And that's part of our Conscious Conversation series that we usually drop new episodes on Sunday. But she said, I really appreciate you just really being who you are. And the part that got me is that she said, people often try to figure you out, and they can't. They can't figure you out. And she said, and that really, I appreciate you showing up in your purpose and just walking in that light that you do and that you have. And I felt touched by her sharing that. But my response to her is really what fueled this particular thought today about just being. So my response was, I'm just figuring me out. Like literally, I am just figuring me out. And as I really began to be more clear with a conscious and awareness and another level of understanding about who I really am, the more I'm able to fall in love with myself, the more I'm able to walk in that truth. So the clarity about who I am and what I do and my purpose, I don't have to necessarily speak to it. It comes from me. And because of that sense of clarity, and I've been doing the inner work so that my outer man or woman reflects that, I have confidence that I'm as authentic as I can be right now, because I'm always in a growth state. So I am authentically who I am supposed to be right now. And now that I'm really figuring me out and not afraid of dealing with my boogeyman, I'm telling you, I'm able to be more consistent. And so even getting up and I'm at the airport, I slept a few hours, I'm super uber tired, and I'm heading to another wonderful experience that I'm just going to embrace from being there. I said, time to do daily dose of Dr. Vitamin D. And I look forward to that Monday through Friday to get up and share a little bit more with you about my journey and to give you those nuggets of figuring yourself out. What are the things that we need to do? What are the things that actually begin to work better for us? And really why we should spend that time doing it. So, you ready? Got a pen? Number one, the really key part of where you start to figure yourself out is to get quiet. Spend some time by yourself. Might be difficult, but it's totally worth it. Be quiet, because sometimes all the noise around you will disturb your sense of understanding and processing, because there's some ugly things that may come out, and when they do, you need to be able to deal with them on that particular level. So that's number one, is to get quiet. The second thing is to start writing. It doesn't have to be a book, it doesn't have to be pages. Just start writing. What are your thoughts? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you feeling as you're processing the essence of who you are? And when you start to do that, it forces you to really think. And the scary part is that sometimes you have to write down, I really don't know. I don't really know who I am. I've been walking around as a bastardized version of myself for so long that I don't really have clarity about who I am and how am I supposed to show up. And then when you begin to see that, because those things are out of alignment, any and everything that comes after it is distorted. So one, I've gotten quiet. Number two, you begin to write things down. And the third thing, I like threes, is to make a commitment. Make a commitment to begin to operate not only in your purpose and your truth, but just as you are, by owning literally who you are as you are right now in this season. It's not something that everybody has to like, but it's something that you actually have to understand. So one thing that I shared in a small group last night, when we were talking about racial reconciliation, and we were talking about the things that may come out during the conversation, because it was a mixed group. And one of my participants, I was facilitating the group, and I said, what makes you nervous about what we're going to talk about today? And she's like, what? I said, what makes you nervous? What? I asked the whole entire group. And what she said really, I resonated with. She said, it's not so much that I think that outwardly I am this person that doesn't have a sense of awareness or racial sensitivity. She said, I'm worried about what might come out that I don't know about myself. Wow. Like mics and bombs just kind of dropped all over in the space. She was more concerned about what might have been scripted and been a part of her, upbringing and experiences that she may not have processed or dealt with. or repressed. And now that might come out during the group discussions, or if it got triggered by something else someone said. That, wow, how often do we do that? How often do we dim our light? How often do we get quiet? Not in the sense of getting quiet for understanding and clarity, but quiet because we're so afraid about what might come out about ourselves that we say nothing and we do nothing and we just simmer in our own crap. So, that is why you have to just kind of begin to embrace and process and understand who you are. And even why you are, and how you came to be, and doing some other work with yourself, for yourself. So before you begin to turn the table and explain why someone is the root of all the evil and the experiences and positive or negative and everything in between, you're going to have to take a close look at yourself. So real quick, wrap it up with these 3 things on this Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday. I don't know why that was like a tongue twister. Maybe because I'm so tired. But number 1 is to get quiet. Go spend some time, whether you choose to meditate or just sit in the room. Go to a space that feels like you feel connected to. For me, it's water or the mountains. And just sitting there watching the ebb and the flow, or nature all around me, and hearing the sounds of the trees like swaying. That refuels me. So get quiet. Number 2 is that begin to write things down. Whatever format, draw pictures if it works for you. Whether they're words that come to mind, whether they're sentences, whether they're phrases, or whether they're whole paragraphs, it's up to you. Write it down. What's going on in your head? So taking what's in your head and putting it out on paper so that you can begin to look at it and see what's inside of you, what's coming out, unfiltered. So don't try to filter your writing, and don't try to make it pretty. It doesn't have to be a poet laureate or anything of that nature. It's literally there for you to begin to not only chronicle your journey, but understand it and process it differently. The third thing is for you to get committed. Committed to you. Committed to making adjustments when and how. It's going to be in your best interest. This is really about putting your mask on first so that you can begin to add value across the board to everybody who you're called.
John Wayne Airport.
So that's my cue. And you're in the background. I'm at the airport, and I'm ready to fly. So as I've gotten really clear about who I am, why I am, and where I'm supposed to be going, I tell you, my life has been transformed. So like Chantel said to me, people can't figure me out. They just don't get me out. And then it was in that moment I realized that for a long time I couldn't figure me out, and I didn't get me either. It was when I did the work. So on this Wisdom Wednesday, I don't know why this is so hard. I encourage you to take the time, do the work, get to know you, and just be you, because there's only one person like you. And 50% of knowing who you are is also knowing who you're not. So get clear so that you can show up confident and stay consistent about any and everything that you're called to do. That's all I got. It is your host, Dr. Dina Brown, signing off with today's episode of Walking to Class, the podcast. So have a great day, a wonderful rest of the week, and I look forward to same time, same place tomorrow, Monday through Friday, your daily dose of Dr. Vitamin D. And if there's something that you think that we want to talk about, something that's pressing on you, please drop it in the comments. Please share it if you are interested in being part of a conscious conversation where we really dig deep into some of the ish that we're dealing with. Please reach out. I'd love to connect. So without further ado, signing off. Have an amazing day, have an extraordinary week, and simply just be you.